Alright, this is FYNDR with a new video walkthrough. This is for Zenith Hunter, which is a game that I finished development for and released a couple weeks back. It would have been late July. I teased this in my previous video and said that I would get things sorted out for a video walkthrough and take care of some of the mic issues and recording quality issues from previous videos. So I've got new equipment and software and everything, so we're good to go. A friend of mine actually did a playthrough of this game through one of the routes that was available, and so I figured it would be a good chance to do this one to sort of get a more complete video walkthrough through the remaining routes, and two, to sort of promote the game, since it's going to be available on Steam in a few weeks once things clear through. I think the Coming Soon page is up presently. If you just search for Zenith Hunter on their store. But you can also just download the version today, even just by going to my website or to the HIO link in the video description. But yeah, anyway, this is the main screen, and there's an options menu, which is good to just check out first for the controls. It's a platforming game, so you run, jump, and throw things, and you can change the screen size if you want, save and reset your settings. The defaults should be fine. I do recommend using a gamepad, though, just because it's a little cumbersome to play with a keyboard for sort of a fast-paced game like this. So let's start a new game. 3 save slots, and there's some stats around each. I'm going to go ahead and play this one. I'm going to just go ahead and skip this area, but take this opportunity to explain the game a little bit. So you can run, you can jump at different heights, you can jump pretty far if you're running, you can also duck. You can talk to these guys by pressing the throw button. I'm just going to skip the dialogue. Mostly it's just introductory stuff to the game, but it'll all become pretty apparent as I'm playing what's going on. And you'll probably notice that the main character, and also all the other characters, look like the sprites from the last Pikeman. So these were basically taken directly from that game with some modifications. And then I managed to draw up the rest of the sprites and backgrounds and tiles just on my own by hand. And I should say that this game is fairly challenging, but not so much so as the last Pikeman, because here you have 3 hit points rather than just the 1. But in any case, I've played this many times just through testing. So I'll try to take it a little slow, at least for this first set of levels, so that I can illustrate things. Those little purple guys, they just go back and forth pretty much. You can't jump on them without getting hurt, so don't. That guy drops eggs on you. There are these little treasure chests that give you items. Just get under that. Jump, and then a running jump. Okay, so the basic mechanic for this game, rather than jumping on enemies, is you use items. So there's a hammer, for example. You hit them like that. You can hit this guy too. Some of them you can't get hit. I lost a health, so I actually lost my item in the process. But I picked up a heart. Dodge these guys back and forth and do a running jump to the right. And when you reach the end of a stage, you hit the flag, and that means you're done. And then your progress is saved. So after every level that you beat, you can always continue from that point. There's the dynamite weapon, used to hit anything within the blast radius, which is nice. It's got a lower rate of fire than the hammers, though. And here we've got an invincibility power-up, so we can just run through this field of bouncy balls. And then we got some frogs. Oops. Actually, I'm used to running through these stages very, very quickly. There's a certain flow to it. But going through it deliberately is fine too. There we go. Okay, level 3. Now let's just talk to this guy, because what he has to say is pretty important. Basically that there are secret treasures in this game. Do a running jump up here. So basically how this game is laid out, whoops, is that there are 4 stages per level and there are 6 levels overall. And each overarching level has 1 treasure that is hidden on it in one of the stages. In this case, it's right down there. There's a treasure chest and it doesn't look like there's any way to get at it. But if you look very closely at the walls nearby, you'll see that some of the pixels don't line up properly on the detail there. So what you can actually do is hold right and just run into this wall. And you can find the hidden walls here and over there. And then get the gold piece. And to keep track of this, if you press the start button or escape on the keyboard, you'll see that the gold piece is tracked down to the treasures. There's some other things you'll find too, just in the course of playing. But you do need the 6 gold pieces scattered throughout the game to get the alternate ending. I'll just dodge these bouncy balls. There's also these mouth things that go real fast, so just try to avoid those. And there we are. You also get to keep your weapon from the previous level if you happen to carry it over. Even if you don't, the levels are designed so that you can still get through without getting hit, without a weapon. Snag the hammer. There we are. And then this is actually the last stage in this level. You can tell because there are these pillars that also appear in the next room. Right here, because every 4th stage is a boss room. Alright, so this guy is the first boss, and he's actually extremely simple. You'll notice that he was the red guy that was in the base camp, which was the very first level of the game. So if you try to get near him, he'll throw a hammer at you, and he's got pretty good aim. So the way to avoid him is to throw hammers at him. Whoops. Throw hammers at him and dodge his hammers. Like this. Pretty simple. 3 hits and he's dead. And then you get the first treasure, which is an emerald. And it appears on the treasure screen like that. This is the 2nd level, and we have enough time, so I'm going to play through it. Pick up the boomerang, which is the next weapon, and you'll see that it behaves a little differently than the other ones. It goes in a straight line, and it curves back on itself. So you can do something like that, with those, or you can do it forward. And there's some rolling rocks you want to avoid. Okay. And here you can see basically the level 1 boss. Well, it's a different guy, but his basic attack pattern has been made into a regular enemy. So you can either rush him and hit him with the boomerang, or you can throw the boomerang here, jump over, and let it hit him. And I'll just save that one for later just in case. Run through there. This part is pretty much just waiting for rocks to roll under you and jumping at the right time. There we go. Easy. We've got a couple more purple guys, and there we go. I'm gonna use the hammer. Just jump up here and avoid those. There's a little bird, moves in a wave pattern. You can just dodge them or hit them. Now over here you'll see that there is a little branch sticking out down there. That's a little hint to jump down and get the second gold piece. So now we've got level 1 down and the level 2 gold piece. And this little platform takes you back up to where you started. The rest of these pits just lead to death, so don't jump down those. Hit those birds. Now here, you want to hold right and the run button. Just go right under those balls. Dang it. There we go. Okay, so this stage actually has another treasure on it that is helpful. It's coming up at the very end, so pay attention. Bird, jump over the rock, hit the frog, jump over the other rock, try not to hit the birds. Okay, that works. That's just a heart. I'm gonna just clear out some of these guys here. So there's the green guy who is another character from the base camp, and you'll see he's stuck behind these stones. So, that will come into play in just a little bit. Here you can see that there's a platform here. Takes you up here. And then you get dynamite. And I'm just going to clear off these platforms. Don't have to worry about them. But I think you can guess how we're going to use the dynamite. Take a big jump. Kill that pterodactyl, why not? And then just start hucking dynamite on these stones. And then when you talk to this guy, it gives that little tone. It's the same tone that you get when you pick up gold. So that's very important to talk to people when you see them. And he's just thanking me for freeing him. And he had a heart piece, so now we have an extra hit that we can take. It's pretty nice. Now, the heart pieces aren't strictly needed for completion, but they're good to have, just in case. Alright, so we're at the pillars again. Which means it's a boss level. Now for this guy, you can either do like this, or you can actually go over here, throw the boomerang to the left, and then just let it hit him. It's a little slower, but it's a sure thing. Alright, now this area looks like there's no way to get through, but there's actually a secret path down this way. Here we've got some rolling stones. And the level 2 boss. It's a giant caveman thing. Now for this boss, The attack pattern is pretty simple. He throws 4 stones. They roll around the place, then he jumps. It causes 5 spikes to fall from the ceiling. And you notice there's a spike right above his head that's blinking. So you want to throw your hammer at that. That is how you damage the boss. Because if you try hitting him with hammers, they just bounce right off. Okay, well, like that. The best place to dodge the rocks I found is up here. But technically you can just do it anywhere. It's just that you need to be on this platform to get enough air to hit that spike. Is the main thing. And there he's done. And there's the second jewel. And we're starting up level 3. So we've got the first 2 levels down, and we've got 2 out of the 6 gold pieces. I think this is a pretty good place to stop. I'll be uploading the next video probably tomorrow. And yeah, we'll pick it up from there. So until then.